All right, Unit 5, Lesson 1, we're going on to systems of equations. Now, remember what a system of equations are. It basically means two or more equations. Now, notice how I said two or more equations. You can have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can have as many as you want. And I said equations. Since you're in 8th grade, we're going to start you off on linear equations. So that means everything that you're going to do in this chapter is going to be two lines. Well, actually no, we're going to show you a parabola later on. So we're going to start you with two lines. So let's check in and remember two lines may do one of three things. The most obvious are the lines may cross. And if we were solving this, this is the point we're looking for, the point they cross at. Well, that's all well and good, but sometimes they don't cross. You could graph two lines and they could be parallel, or here's a new word, they could be skew. What do skew lines look like? Well, to give you an example, we're going to use a box and we're going to look at the edges. So let's say I look at this edge right here and I draw a line. Well, that's a line. And then I'm going to draw a line on this edge, AB. And these lines, if you can envision them, will never touch. But they are skew, not parallel, and they never cross. That's what skew means. All right, so what could possibly be the last thing? We got that they cross each other. We got that they could be parallel or skew. And the last thing they could be is they could be on top of each other. Now you're saying, wait a second, that's not on top of each other, but I just have it set up. Let me tell you, when you go to graph them, you're going to graph the lines and you're going to find out that one line is on top of each other. Well, what are the answers then to all this? If two lines are parallel or skew, there is no answer. If the two lines are on top of each other, that means every number in the world is an answer because they will eventually, domain-wise, pass every number in the world, and every number in the world is going to work because they're on top of each other. Whereas remember, this first one where they cross in only one spot means they only have one answer in common. So now we're going to learn how to solve these graphically. So it's nothing different. You have here a line and another line. Put them together and voila, you have a system of equations. So let's call this example number 1. And let's graph these lines. So I'm going to pick, let me see, let's do one in white. Let's do this one in white. Hopefully now you can graph this lickety-split. Go to -3, that's the y-intercept. Go up 4 over 1. Go up 4 over 1. Go up 4 over 1. And if I had to, I'm going to go down 4 over 1. I am now going to take my time and make sure I draw a nice line that goes through all my points. All right, as usual, we always want to label our lines. So this is the line y equals 4x minus 3. All right, now I'm going to take my pen and I am going to do this second line in blue. But we have to do a little rearranging. You should be able to do this very quickly now. Get it in the form y equals mx plus b. So this one tells me to start at 9, but then go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Hey, look what happened. I think you can see that we now have an answer to this system of two equations. This is the line. Taking a little long time to draw there. So obviously, what would be the answer? That right there. Now let me make sure I've got everything correct here so that if this were a test, I would get full credit. I'm going to make sure I have both my lines labeled. So we will name this line its proper name, 2x plus y equals 9. I have my white line labeled, and I must clearly state my answer. My answer is the point 2, 5, where the x value is 2, 1, 2, and the y value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the solution to these two problems. They want me to find out where do they cross. And obviously if I put 2 in here, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 minus 3 is 5. Beautiful. This one says double the x value, 4, add on the y value, 5, 4 plus 5 equals 9. Perfect. This is the most common mistake. Students can graph this and they think this is a really easy question on the regions, but they never write the answer. We can't assume as teachers that you understand that where they cross is what we're looking for. You have to clearly show us that. Okay, last question for this video. Janelle and Swetha are taking a 50-question true-false test in their history class. Janelle started after Swetha had already finished 12 questions. Janelle answered the questions at a rate of 2 per minute, while Swetha answered them at a rate of 5 questions every 4 minutes. Janelle eventually catches up to Swetha. How many minutes does it take for her to catch up, and what question are they on? All right, a lot of information here, but notice over here on the graph, the first thing I want to check out is I want to check out my labels here. And this one says this graph represents the number of minutes since Janelle started. We're not starting with Swetha, we're starting with Janelle. And I've put them in 2 different colors. So let's graph Janelle. When she starts, 0 questions in 0 minutes. But remember, so if I come up here and look, Janelle is a rate of 2 per minute. So let me put that in yellow or gold. She's a rate of 2 per minute. All right. So now the next one, here's 1 minute passed. So she's answered 2 questions. Another minute passed, she answers 2 questions. 2 questions. All right, we could keep going like this, putting up dots after dot, or we can just draw a nice straight line. So let's come over here, let's get our line. And if we went, we would know that after 20 minutes, she would have 40 questions. She was the easy one to graph. And there shouldn't be an arrow on the end here, so let's even pretty that up. Perfect. Now Swetha. Her rate is 5 questions every 4 minutes. But we're not going to start at 0 because Swetha had already finished 12 questions when Janelle started. So 12 questions is right here. So when Janelle started, Swetha was on question 12. And then her rate is 5 questions every 4 minutes. So that's basically a rate of 5 questions, means she's up to 17, 14, 16, 17, and that takes her 4 minutes, so we'll go over to the 4-minute mark. So 5 questions on to 17 bring her to 22, and then we're going to go over 4 minutes. She'll answer 5 more questions, so that'll bring her up to 27, and that would have taken her 4 minutes. Getting close, but not quite, so we got one more. All right, so if that was 27, now she'll be on question 32 in 4 minutes. And look, there we go. There is my blue and yellow lines crossing. So again, I'm just going to make it look pretty. And now I can answer my question. Remember, we must clearly answer it. That's where they cross right there. So, after 16 minutes, Janelle will catch up to Swetha. On question number 32.